Hardy fiber cement siding is proven to withstand water, pests, and fire better than wood-based siding. And it looks better while doing it. Hardy siding has been chosen for 10 million homes and counting. See the proof at jameshardy.com.
Welcome to Think About It with your host, Jaden Miller.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining me on Think About It with Jaden Miller. Hope everyone is doing well. Please check out my website at www.jadenmiller.com. That's JAYDENMILLER.com. And please like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel, and like, comment, and follow on your favorite podcast platform. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Spreaker, Google Podcast, Castbox, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcast, Podcast Addict, and so many more. Again, I hope you guys are doing well. It's good to be back with another topic. Saturday was Chris Rock's Netflix special called Selective Outrage. And during this comedy show, he finally addressed the Will Smith Oscars slap. Now, as you will recall, about a year ago during the Oscars, Will Smith went up on stage and slapped Chris Rock in front of the world. Okay. I never ever spoke publicly about it. I never talked about it on my podcast. And that might be for a number of reasons, but I have decided to do so today. So let me just tell you the emotions that I had when I saw Will Smith slap Chris Rock. First, let me say that I've always been a big admirer of Chris Rock and his comedy. I've been a great admirer of Will Smith and his movies and his acting skills and his music. Have always just loved him as a person. Okay. And it was a great night for him. He was nominated for an Oscar for King Richard, which he eventually won that night. But I've had so many feelings about it when I witnessed him walk up on that stage and hit Chris Rock in front of the world. And, I'm going to talk about some things, and there are going to be some words that I'm going to use. So if you have children, you may want to use parental guidance. These aren't going to be my words, but the words that Chris Rock used during his show. So I just wanted to give that disclaimer out in the very beginning. But let me talk about my feelings. I thought that it was horrific, okay, to see Will Smith walk on stage and slap Chris Rock. Now, let me put this on a racial level, and I'm sorry, but this is just what we do, okay? This is America, and America was founded on some racial principles, even though some people want to ignore that. But even though this is 2023, it's still important to mention, okay? And this is just my opinion. It was horrific for me to see one black man go up on stage and hit another black man, especially at an Academy Awards. It's horrific to see black police officers, eventually kill a black man in Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, so I'm not biased. I'm not at all. I don't like it in any form. But this was a different venue. Okay, and the police officers killed someone. Black police officers killed another black person. That's a totally different issue. Okay, I'm just saying I don't like it in any situation. Okay, but we're talking about the Academy Awards. Okay. I am really still bothered by what happened, even though it's been a year later. I really respected and admired Will Smith, but all of that was lost for me when he went up on that stage and slapped Chris Rock for no good reason. Now, let's go back and talk about why he may have done so. Because there are people that want to to say that, well, Will Smith was justified. And I'm going to say there is never any reason, there is never any justifiable reason, okay, none, for walking up on a stage, a national, no, international stage, and slapping someone because they tell a joke about your wife, one in which your wife laughed at initially, but also one in which you laughed about. And then because she does not like the joke, she now whispers something in your ear, or she gives you that look. And then you decide, oh, I need to now, after I have laughed, defend my wife's honor. That is total bull, okay? And even still, what you do is this. Okay, because Will Smith is a model for children, even though he may not think he is, or he probably does know so, but that night it failed. He is a model for children. He is a model for people. He's a model for America. He's a model for black men. Okay, what you do is you sit there, okay, and you deal with it. And then after the Academy Awards, you have a conversation with Chris Rock, okay? You can get angry during that conversation. You can yell and scream during that conversation. But what you don't do is you don't hit a man and cuss a man at the Academy Awards. Plain and simple. So for those people that have justified Will Smith saying that, oh, he was standing up for the honor of his wife, that's bull crap, and you know it, okay? Because if someone were to come up on stage and slap you, okay, you wouldn't like it. That wouldn't be respectful. That's disrespectful. During this last year, Will Smith has made sporadic attempts to apologize directly to Rock, of course, but also in a generalized, amorphous way to others he said he may have let down with his behavior that night. But Smith's apologies sure haven't struck me as convincing. And they sure haven't soothed the anger that still courses through me and still hungers for an answer that Smith's half-hearted admissions have yet to provide. Where is our apology? When will Smith apologize to us? When will Smith directly apologize to those of us who have the privilege of holding positions where black professionals have long been or still remain underrepresented, yet who also carry the weight of knowing the acute scrutiny that accompanies our roles never affords us the luxury to abandon our sense of discipline, composure, and grace in the manner Smith disgracefully did nearly a year ago? Because make no mistake about this, while we did not feel the flush force of Smith's slap the way Rock did, the impact of his thoughtless act continues to sting and burn our faces all the same. So where is our apology? Where is our apology? As a black man, I hate to see what happened with Will Smith and Chris Rock, but it can be a teachable moment. We heard the joke, we saw the slap, but Jada Pinkett Smith is the voice that matters most. Yeah. You know, one of the things we have to do is weigh the consequences. You know, in the many positions that I've had to deal with racist. I've had to deal with nasty emails, racist comments, racist looks, activities, that I've been given that are beneath me. So many different things, okay? Once when I was working at a university, I had a entitled college professor to write me an email, a very, very nasty email. And being from Chicago, my initial tendency was to write back, okay? And I did, okay? And I was prepared to press send, but then I took another deep breath. And there were a number of things that hit me, that I had to consider. Okay. Number one, that professor would grab the cloak of victimhood and then fire off an "I'm telling on you" email to my boss. Yep, this is something that black people have to deal with, okay? Number two, our exchange will be reported all across the campus, okay? And give a whole lot of ammunition to those that did not like the fact that there was a black man in that position in the first place, okay? And then number three, the whole focus of what occurred would gradually change from how I was insulted to how I had angrily responded to being provoked. Okay. See, this is the issue that I always have. People remember what you did, but don't remember what started it. Okay. See, somebody can slap somebody. Okay. Somebody can shoot somebody. Somebody can swear at somebody. But what caused it? Okay. We have to ask those questions as well. And then we have to determine whether what caused it is justifiable for the response. Okay. And so that's why in Will Smith's case, the first question asked is, why did he slap Chris Rock? Okay. Then the next question is, or the next investigatory response is, okay, let's find out what Chris Rock did. Okay. That might have provoked the slap. And then when we investigate that and find that he said a joke, and then we look at the aggravating and mitigating factors, we find a whole lot of aggravating factors, but not a whole lot of mitigating factors, if any. Fourthly, knowing that what my response would do, it would make the role for the next black person coming into a position such as mine at the time much more difficult. That's the racism in America. That's the racism that we have to deal with, black people, when we reach positions of authority. It happens every freaking time, all the time. Okay, we have to deal with that. So in the instance with Will Smith, okay, see, it was those actions that caused the racial element in America to step back and say, see, look, they can't even get along. See, look, they can't even get along. But see, if we bring up, well, you know what, well, what's going on with the people in Russia and the people in Ukraine? Don't they look alike? In World War II, didn't them people look alike? In World War I, didn't those people look alike? See, but then, oh, that's different. So when black people fight, it's different. Okay. Oh, look at them. But on the world stage in world history, when we say, well, gosh, America fought a war against its own mother country and those people looked alike, oh, that's different. Okay. See, that's the racism that black people have to deal with every single day. And so Will Smith bought into that, and which makes me and so many other people upset. Okay, so let's talk about Chris Rock and his response a year later during his Netflix special. Okay, so during this Netflix special, he went into the topic during the show's final minutes, and actually it was about the final 10 minutes. And then he recalled how everything unfolded after he made a joke about Jada Smith not having any hair. And so during the stand-up on Saturday on Netflix, he says, y'all know what happened to me getting smacked by Suge Smith. Chris said, it still hurts. I got Summertime ringing in my ears. And Summertime was a song by Will Smith back in his early days. Okay. Chris Rock goes on to say that, but I'm not a victim. You'll never see me on Oprah or Gayle crying. You'll never see it. It's never going to happen. And he said, nope, I took that hit like Manny Pacquiao, the boxer. He goes on to say during this stand-up, but Will Smith practices selective outrage. And he said, because everybody knows, and these are Chris Rock's words, and so I'm getting ready to use a little language that may not be suitable for young kids. But Chris Rock goes on to say, because everybody knows what the fuck happened. Everybody that really knows I had nothing to do with that shit. I didn't have any entanglements. Now he goes into the whole issue with Jada Pinkett Smith having an entanglement. And you know what? I don't blame Chris Rock for getting on this because we want to call things different stuff to make it easier for us. Okay. Now what it is she had an affair with her son's friend. Okay. August Alsina. Yes, that's what it was. And Chris Rock goes on to say that Will Smith is upset at her, and so he unfairly takes it out on him. These are Chris Rock's words. He says, his wife was fucking her son's friend. Now, I normally would not talk about this shit, but for some reason, these N-words put this shit on the internet. I have no idea why two talented people would do something that fucking low down. We've all been cheated on. Everybody in here has been cheated on. None of us has ever been interviewed by the person that cheated on us on television. Why the fuck would you do that shit? She hurt him way more than he hurt me. Everybody called him a bitch. And who does he hit? Me. A nigga he can beat. That is some bitch ass shit. That's Chris Rock saying this during his stand-up. And I agree with him wholeheartedly. He went on to say, you know what? You can't tell on television. You can't. When you watch a football game on television, the stadium looks huge. Okay. But when you go to the stadium, I went to Cardinal Stadium here in Phoenix a couple of weeks ago. It's tiny. I'm looking like, man, I can throw a football down the field. But on TV, it looks huge. And I'm like, gosh, I don't think I could throw a football 10 yards. Okay. The point is that Chris Rock was trying to make was that Will Smith is much bigger than he is. Will Smith played Muhammad Ali. Okay. He's played physical roles. Chris Rock was Pookie on New Jack City, okay? And he made that joke, all right? He made that joke. There is so much that Chris Rock said, you know? And in essence, what it was a slap back or a clap back on Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. I know that he harbored this pain for so long. He needed to release this, okay? And I think he did the right thing by bringing them up and putting their nasty business out there. Will Smith is going around apologizing. You should apologize, but you need to apologize more. You need to do so much more. You know what? Chris Rock could have had Will Smith arrested and really destroyed his career, but didn't. Will Smith got it tonight. This is somebody on Twitter saying Will Smith got it that night from Chris Rock. But Jada got it way worse, and may I say deservedly so. Yes, deservedly so. Chris got his therapy tonight. Saw tears swelling up in his eyes after, and I could tell this man has been hurting. So could I. Somebody else on Twitter says Chris Rock was assaulted on live television and could have pressed charges, but chose not to. He can talk all the shit he wants. I wish him nothing but more success, and can't wait to watch his new specials. Yeah. Wow. Yep. There has been plenty of mixed reactions to Chris Rock's stand-up comedy, but I am in his corner. You don't go on stage and assault another black man. You don't go on stage and assault anybody. So for those people that, why is this a racial issue? No, it's not a racial issue. I said in the very beginning, okay, that it's not that, but historically, okay, there are people out there, there are entities out there that sit back and love to see black people fighting. And what I'm saying is that was a really, really bad decision on Will Smith's part. You don't have a fight. Sorry, not a fight. You don't go on stage and slap anybody. I would be just as upset with Will Smith if he went on stage and slapped Jim Carrey. I would be just as upset, because I would say, you know what, dude? You know, as a black man, that's horrible. What you've done now has set us back many, many years, okay? How does that look? He's a comedian. He tells jokes. You're offended by a joke. You let your wife get in your ear. You let her give you a face. And then based upon that, you go and damage your career and damage hers. And now put all of you all's business out on the street, out on the internet for the world to see. It's ridiculous. It makes all of us look bad. It does. And so Chris Rock, right on. You got exactly the revenge you needed to get. And Will Smith, I have not watched a television show. I have not watched another movie. I did watch you on Trevor Noah because I really wanted to see if you had really changed. I watched you in a little bit of an interview with Dave Chappelle. But you know what? I'm still not there. I'm still not there. You did a lot of damage. You did a lot of damage to Chris Rock and his family and his fan base. And you did so much damage to Black America. You have so much more to do. So much more to do. So again, I say kudos to Chris Rock. Excellent Netflix special. If you haven't seen it, you can see it on Netflix. It's Chris Rock, and his Selective Outrage is the name of his comedy show that addresses at the very end the Will Smith Oscar slap. Thank you guys for listening. Check out my website at www.jadenmiller.com. Don't forget, please like, share, and subscribe on my YouTube channel, and like, comment, and follow on your favorite podcast platform. Again, you can find me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Good Pods, Podvine, Amazon products, and so many more. Thank you guys for listening. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Think About It with Jaden Miller. Don't forget to like and subscribe to his YouTube channel, and like and follow on your favorite podcast platform.